on. Hey guys, what's up,
Virtual
Asphalt
airplane.
Lifers? Yeah. I see everybody coming in. Good morning. Good morning. Hey Brian. Let us know you can see us and hear us. We're excited that you guys are joining us for another Wednesday weekly webinar. Super excited to have you guys on this week. And today we are talking to our friends at iRoofing. So we'll say hello to Chris. Hey Chris.
Hey guys, thanks for joining. Welcome.
Yeah, excited to have you on with us this week. I know that I've been talking with a lot of the team at iRoofing and watching everything on social, and so we're excited to have all of you on and be able to show some of the contractors in our Asphalt Life community a little bit of a live demo, as well as some real practical tips on selling in a virtual environment. So you guys do it really well. So excited to have you guys on.
No, well, thank you very much for having us. Definitely an honor to speak to your guys' clients. And I'm excited, hopefully bring some ideas to how companies can still grow during this time, and hopefully take a look at some technology as well.
Perfect, perfect. Well, lots of people putting in good mornings and hellos into the chat. By now, we're in week 7, I think, of quarantine. So we're all used to this, right? This is our new normal. Someone told me on a call this morning they were getting Zoom fatigue, which I thought was hilarious. So y'all can totally use that, but put something in the chat. Tell me hello. Let me know where you're from. Ryan Knipple, good morning. Hey, Robert. Alicia, good morning. Mike Walker is on. Good morning.
Yeah, I noticed a couple of iRoofing customers on here, some local guys in Florida too. I see Mike Wild. He's only about a mile away from us. Nice. Welcome, Mike.
Nice, nice. Yeah, we got a lot of people joining today. So excited to have you guys on. Doug, Bob Van Orden from Toledo, good morning and welcome. Thanks for being on. Boulder, PA is in the house with Wayne Martin. Dan Whitfield, good morning. Hey, good to see you guys on. Dave Tura, one of our favorite people in Connecticut, good morning. John Carl, Meg, and the list goes on and on. So we got a lot of people getting in the queue. If Claudette, just let me know when we're live on Facebook. Well, glad you guys are on. Roland Beeler from Switzerland. I love it. Roland is ready to learn about iRoofing, and that's one of my favorite names. My dad and my brother are named Roland. So I love it. Asphalt Life International Community. So glad to have you on, Roland. Good morning also to our Asphalt Life community on Facebook. So glad that you guys are on. We are live and streaming. So put something in the chat, say good morning, let us know where you're chiming in from. We're excited to have you on with iRoofing this morning. Hey, from Helix, Nova Scotia, Ashley Baker. Good morning. So glad you're on, Ashley. Dave says I'm from Jamie says I'm from Florida. It's Chris. So Florida's in the house. I'm glad to see you guys on. Michigan, Illinois, yeah, Alabama, and it's a good time, right? We're all in this together, and day by day we are making progress, and as things change, we're pivoting. And so that's what's important as you continue to grow your businesses. Just continue to keep learning, keep growing as you're growing your business. And today we want to really help with that. So I'm just going to get started. It's 10:02. And again, welcome to our Asphalt Life community. Good morning to all of you all that are on. Excited to have you on this morning. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. So we'll go to the next slide, and let's talk about today's agenda. So today we're going to be talking about a lot of really good stuff that the iRoofing team has helped put together. First of all, we want to jump into what's up in terms of tech and roofing tech. What should you be asking? What questions should you be asking when choosing your roofing technology? Super important right now, right? When you're building what we call in the digital world your digital stack or your MarTech stack. Those are all of your digital tools that you utilize to go to market. And so as you build your MarTech stack, what tools and how do you know what to ask? Also, we'll talk about digital sales presentation and closing tools. And then how to grow your business during this time with social distancing. So that's something that we've hit on at every single webinar, and we'll continue to do that in this environment. But so important, right? Times are changing, rules are changing, governments and governors are putting different things in place. So it's going to be really important to know how to evolve with the time of social distancing. And then iRoofing is going to talk about their sales presentation, which is very cool. I love their portal. If you haven't downloaded the app so far, don't go ahead and stop, pause while we're going through today's agenda and download the iRoofing app. We want you to be up to speed and have the app handy so that when we go into the face-to-face from afar or the live demo, you will be ready to roll. We'll wrap up today's webinar with some Q&A with Chris. And as you all already know, pop in your questions. Let us know what questions you have. That's what we want to be aware of. We want to hear those questions. So put those in the chat as we go throughout the webinar. Put them in the Facebook poll so that we can have it and know what's going on. Uh-oh, we got the poll already coming up. So we'll stop the poll, and we're excited about that. So without further ado, let me introduce our special guest for today. So today we're going to be chatting with Chris Hewson. He's the National Account Manager over at iRoofing. One of the early employees of iRoofing since he's been there since 2012. Chris brings his knowledge and expertise to our customers as a National Account Manager. Chris is well versed in doing all things roofing. When he's not training roof pros in DIY roofing software, he lends roofing and technology experience as a subject matter expert at roofing conferences throughout the country. So excited to be able to have you on today, Chris. And without further ado, we'll let you take over.
Thanks so much, Tiara. Again, thank you for having us here. Definitely excited to speak to over 100 participants today, so that's amazing. And that's me there with a little bit better of a haircut than I have right now. So looking forward to getting one of those.
The quarantine cut hasn't kicked in yet. Yeah.
Yep. No. I wake up every morning. The wife has like scissors inches away from my hair, and I have to fight her off. So yeah, I'm not sure. Did everyone get a full look at the live poll? I want to make sure everyone was able to have a chance to answer that.
We're ready to launch it. So what best describes, we'll jump in with the poll. What best describes the effects of coronavirus and disruptions to your business? So go ahead and jump into this poll. Let us know. If you're on an iPad, you can just tap the answer. If you're on a computer, go ahead and tap the answer in there, and we have results coming in. What best describes the effects of coronavirus disruptions to your business right now? To put a pause on your operations, have you had to scale back? Maybe you're doing good and you didn't have to let go of anybody. If it's not the same. I'm keeping my business moving, but thanks to technology, maybe some of you have ramped up. Go ahead and put something in the chat or in the poll. If you're on Facebook, joining us with Facebook, go ahead and populate what works for you. Awesome. We're going to give it about 5 more seconds, Chris, and have Claudette go ahead and share the results.
Yeah, results here at iRoofing actually, part of the reason probably why we're on here is that pretty much for the last 8 years, we basically mock sell the roof to our contractors online, just as part of our sales process, because we believe in, hey, instead of just talking about something, show me. So we've actually been quite busy because now that's kind of the new normal as far as, the no touch, social distancing. Let's kind of get some technology going.
Yeah, and about 30%, 36% of people, Chris, said it's not the same, but I'm keeping my business moving thanks to technology. And another 23 came back and said, I did not let go of anyone and continue to work on a number of projects, but not as many as I normally do. And then, you know, I think the third largest group that gave us some feedback today was, I see a small drop in the amount of leads that they're getting, but they're continuing with scheduled roof repairs, inspections, and replacements, which are always needed. And I think a lot of that is going to be due to market, right? What's happening in your market, and what the government restrictions are or are not in that market, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, my humble opinion is that, you know, protecting your home, protecting your livelihood, protecting your family with a roof, you know, I would deem that absolutely as essential. You know, this is people's lives, their largest investment. We can't let that slide or be neglected.
Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. So yeah, we'll keep monitoring the results. If you guys haven't voted, please go ahead, and we can certainly loop back to that if need be. So now let's get to the agenda. What's up in roofing tech? What's new? What's been going on? Catching up. You guys reported that, you know, we are using technology to kind of get to where we need to be, which is excellent, guys. I'm really happy that people are adopting it. You know, I'm of the opinion that, you know, here in 2020, technology is here to stay. So let's take advantage of it. Let's get some best use out of it, and let's discuss it right here. So a lot of things going on in our sphere of roofing and technology. So I'll talk a little bit about each one of these subjects. You know, certainly satellites and drones and CRM tools are all becoming extremely popular. But there's also some future technology being worked on, and some other things that can address pain points that you'll even know that you have. So that's kind of technology's job, and kind of the beauty of it these days is that it's come so far that not only is there technology, but it's become easy to use as well. So now the end user is in mind, and it's something that all people of all shapes, sizes, technology levels can really take advantage of. You know, we have a customer who's 76 years old. He has a flip phone still, but with a little extra training, anybody can utilize technology in their business. I truly believe that. So definitely take time to invest in your team, invest in your business.
I love it.
By
Shout
examining
out to the 76-year-old still making it happen. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, he could. You know, his pain point was he couldn't get up on the roof anymore, and so hey, there's technology solutions to that. He had no idea, but now he's you know, he's still out there earning. It's amazing.
Get it.
One of the big things in our industry, one of the big things in our industry is certainly satellite images and measurements. You know, big time saver. Being more prepared to close the sale when you go out there certainly can be beneficial in a number of ways, because you know, you can go out there with a full report, you know, spend all your time with the homeowner creating that relationship to close the sale, instead of scrambling on the roof, which, you know, especially on a hot summer day down here in Florida, can be a little less comfortable than spending it in air conditioning. And then also, of course, the time savings and risk management as well. No need to put people's lives at risk on a super, super steep, old, slippery roof if you don't need to.
Yeah.
Drones, super, super popular in our industry these days, and they have a number of different uses. You can go into and do all your inspections through there. You can monitor different ways. You can actually monitor your crew and see how they're doing. We can actually use infrared technology to detect leaks. Some super cool things that works by, because there's a temperature difference in the areas that have had water absorption, and infrared can see that through the roof. You can also get perfect images of houses that are even in the middle of nowhere. And now with some of the new release of drones, they're under 250 grams. So in a lot of times they fall into a different category as far as FAA restrictions, local restrictions. Of course, please check with your local municipalities to make sure that you're not breaking any laws. But in a lot of cases, the drones and the ones especially that we also ship out are 249 grams, so it puts them into a lower risk category.
Yeah.
And another big thing, roof estimates is now becoming automated. So one of probably the second most thing that contractors spend time on is building an accurate estimate for their clients. And there's really no one size fits all. Everyone has specific use cases and way of doing things, so it needs to be customized. So certainly have a conversation with any technology that your company that you're considering to make sure that your specific way of doing things can be addressed and it can be customized to your method of business. Again, 2020, technology should adapt to your business, not the other way around. Unless you're doing things completely backwards, it should be able to be addressed in any technology solutions that you guys are examining.
Yeah, and we're learning too on that point, Chris, that, having a professional estimate is so important, right? Just not going to market with a one sheet that, doesn't necessarily represent your business as well. It's so important to have that professional estimate that you can give to the homeowner.
Absolutely, because when it really boils down to brass tacks, Kara, they're literally putting, a sheet of paper, looking at the estimates, comparing the two. And it's their only indication, really, aside from the experience they got with the salesperson, of, what's the professional level of this company. Something written on a napkin versus something that is kind of beautiful and customized with photos and is very consumer-centric is going to stand out in a big way.
Yeah, for sure.
Digital catalogs also becoming very popular as well. So, these are great because now we don't have to, show a customer a catalog that's been tossed around in the truck one too many times, or possibly, shows things that are discontinued. These can all be customized to what the contractor likes to sell. So let's say there's certain products that are technically available in a territory but are not stocked by their favorite distribution house. You can customize that with digital catalogs, so you're only showing the products that you absolutely need to see.
Yeah.
And we also have CRM tools. And that's all becoming better organized, makes it a much easier way to kind of keep track of the business, understand where you're at, understand where you're going, understanding your pipeline, understanding who you have to follow up with. We are in a stage right now where everything is so fast-paced that you need to be ultra-efficient, not let things fall through the cracks, and be able to get an overview of your business very quickly. And this helps salespeople with one of the number one issues roofing salespeople have is follow-up. So understanding that, hey, I need to follow up this many times with a customer, this is the optimal time to do so, keeping track of all those facts, or even just, let's say a customer calls your roofing salesperson back. How do you want that conversation to go? Does if you don't have a CRM system, chances are he's not going to remember somebody from, a month ago, let alone 2 weeks. Everything's just moving so fast.
Yeah.
And so roofing is a scary, scary process from a homeowner perspective, and they're looking for a friend. And so if you remember them, keep reassuring them this is going to be a smooth process. They're looking for that type of resource. And a CRM tool that's well managed and at their fingertips can help them with that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just to piggyback on that, a CRM is the customer relationship management tool. So I know a lot of you guys are probably like, what is CRM? If you haven't Googled it yet, that's what that means. And, I know you guys do a really good job of helping customers to maximize that, our contractor customers rather, to maximize that CRM right there in the app, right there in that tool, to be able to utilize everything in one place. And that's one thing I really love about iRoofing. But no matter who you are on this call, make sure that you are actually investing in a CRM, because it helps you manage your customer relationships, right? When you have a new customer that calls, gets a quote, but doesn't go forward with it, or if you have a customer that closes and you want to be sure to follow up with them in 1 year, 3 year, 5 years, maybe some of you are keeping track of that. I met with a customer about a year and a half ago, Chris, and he was keeping track of all of that with a notepad, right? In his front office admin had literally a notepad that she kept up with everything, and they were in the process of migrating that to a spreadsheet. And so no matter where you find yourself in that process, make sure that you're keeping up with your customers' relationship management and tracking what you're doing. And, you know, iRoofing does a great job, as well as there's a host of other tools out there when you talk about tech. So find out what's best for you, but get started.
Absolutely. One last point on there too. I know a company that had had a CRM system that had a map-based technology as well. So they were able to see where a hailstorm rolled through and what customers that it probably hit. And so they got to go back and say, hey, you know, we did your roof for you, you know, 6 years ago. Hope everything was great. There was a hailstorm that rolled through. You know, would you like us to do a free roof inspection? Make sure that roof is still good for you. And so, I mean, it's low-lying fruit. It's easy pickings. It's just knowing where to find it.
Right. And what Rob Swartz asked, does it integrate with other apps and or software? And so, yes. I know, Chris, you'll talk a little bit about the iRoofing portal, but I know a lot of CRMs do integrate directly with other softwares. Can you tell us a little bit about the iRoofing CRM in terms of integration?
Yeah. So I'll go into a lot of detail when I show the application. But the iRoofing application, nothing's locked onto the app itself. One of the key things with a CRM system is that you don't want them to be able to hold you hostage. The worst thing in the world is, let's say, a technology company gathers all your information and then all of a sudden, you know, jacks up the price on you, or just become like, you know, you can't move anywhere because they have your info. They have all your info in one place. iRoofing, everything can be pushed out through Google Drive, Dropbox. So we're kind of open source in that fact that, you know, hey, you can connect to these free cloud sharing services. We only want you to be a customer if you want to be a customer. We're not going to hold you hostage. It's your data. That's a big thing to remember. This is your data, not the companies that you're using to store and manage it.
Great.
Yeah. And it's something that seems pretty simple, but is also a big deal is sharing photos. Everyone says, you know, picture, can do 1,000 words. So be able to kind of go back and forth with people to keep everybody on the same page, understand quickly instead of a huge paragraph of text. A lot of times, some type of weird damage or unusual roofing feature can all be shared via photo. And there's a lot of great companies out there. Not just iRoofing, but, company ClickCam. Some people use iCloud. Some people use Google Drive. These are all easy solutions to keep everybody on the same page. Simulation technology. This is becoming really, really big and probably the biggest move since social distancing and remote presentations. As a salesperson, of course, you always wanted to be face-to-face to try to gain that trust. In a digital environment, how do you stand out? How do you make yourself a leg up on everybody else? And how do you create an engaging experience that made them feel like, okay, I couldn't get that from someone else. I couldn't get that just from the internet. So when you can actually show the homeowner what any of these materials look like on their own home, that's a way to provide them an experience that they can't get on their own, that needed the contractor for. And also it's something that, and I'll talk a little bit more about it later too, that makes them feel kind of warm and fuzzy. Hey, this person really cares what my roof is going to look like at the end. And bottom line is it helps close deals. When they can see their own home, takes all the hesitation and guesswork out of it. And you can compare it side by side. I mean, when I got my roof, I used simulators to the nth degree, just because I'm an older millennial, but I'm still a millennial, and my imagination with these things just isn't what it used to be, because I'm the generation of, just let technology do it and show me.
Right, right. And you know, it's been so important. I was telling someone the other week that I was actually looking for flooring options that we were considering redoing our floors here at our home. And one of the really interesting things I saw that Shaw, shout out to Shaw, they put have a visualizer tool where you just take a picture of your living room and they will, you click a button of which product you want, it automatically helps you to visualize that new product on your floor. And you know, as a user, I became so much closer to my purchase decision just by having that visualizer tool where I'm able to see what my investment looks like, right, on an actual floor, and in this case on a roof. So you know, floors are not as expensive as roofs, but it's still in construction, and the user experience for the homeowner is very similar. So if you're not having a roof, I know Atlas has a our installation tool that where you can actually have a visualizer right on your website, right, and you don't have to take people to other sites. Or with the iRoofing tool, you can do it right in the app, which is so cool because you can shoot that right, take a picture right there from the app and send it right on to the homeowner, which I love. So whichever way you do it, make sure you're making that process really easy for the homeowner, because that does bring you so much closer to making your purchase decision.
Absolutely. Yep. Couldn't have said it better, Tiara. Thanks. Storm tracking capabilities, and this is something that is really become fine-tuned over the years. So now we can really predict not only where hail is going to be, but also after the fact to see exactly what what damage hit what neighborhoods, and you can strategize with this information. You could say, hey, the huge, there was a huge hit in this little condensed area, but there was a medium hit on this huge swath of homes over here. People, maybe all the roofers are going to where the crazy damage is, but there's like some, a huge area of mediums that, I could probably still get claims in on. And just having that sort of information allows you to strategize where you want your salespeople to go, kind of fine tune your process of how to attack a storm when it rolls through, and also make sure that you're not spinning your wheels just driving out and searching for it, which used to be kind of the old way.
Right.
So it's something that you can certainly arm your salespeople with to help up their productivity.
Mm-hmm.
Virtual reality, that's becoming more popular and certainly a fun experience for homeowners as we start to move more into a virtual reality world. They're becoming, it's not a thing of, movies in the total futurescape, but it's, in people's homes now with Facebook-owned Oculus and a couple of other services out there. There's even a Google product where you could have a small little cardboard box, put your phone in it, and it can give you a VR experience right from that in a very, very cheap way. So it's becoming now accessible to everybody. I would say beware some gimmicky VR experiences. Try it, try it for yourself. Don't just go, ooh, VR, and just assume it's, cat's meow. But it is something that is becoming more and more prevalent. And again, it's almost like taking that simulator to the next level of, hey, let me experience this as if I was there. And as computer vision becomes more and more precise and accessible into our industry, you'll see more of that as the years go on. And pricing models for roofing technology, just to kind of go over how these are usually kind of presented and set up. Software kind of used to be, all right, I buy a piece of software like, Microsoft Word, and I have Microsoft Word. And certainly other programs are like that. We don't see that business model anymore because of the changing times and the ability to keep things perfectly up to date. So, Microsoft Office is now a subscription. They're even talking about making Windows, operating system a subscription-based service. So to see everything be kept up to date continuously, always on the cutting edge, that's why we're seeing a lot of that. Reoccurring payments, is certainly the most popular one. That's what I spoke up to. And sometimes there's setup fees with certain companies. We personally don't believe in them, but certainly understand that there is a work to be done, especially initially in the onboarding process. So I can understand why some companies would implement that. And freemium is kind of a new thing that's comes out there, and it's something that with experience, I've become more wary of. I used to have a motto of, oh, if it's free, it's for me. But you got to be careful out there, because you know what? If you're not sure how they're making money, why is this free? A lot of times it's at your detriment. You're actually the product in that case. So be wary of privacy concerns, where you put your information, because your leads, your data, your customers is all very, very valuable. So if you don't know how they're making money, it's probably off of your back some way, somehow. And what questions should I ask when choosing roofing technology? What's the best practices of how to kind of go about this? Personally, I feel communication is everything. So everything I'm talking about in this section can almost be boiled down to communication, how they treat their customers. Do they offer things like free training and ways to interact?
I love it.
Yep. And so first question is, what do I need to enhance my business? What are my opportunities? What am I missing out on? What are my pain points? This is a point to look inward, do some self-evaluation, start talking what takes me the most time? What takes my guys the most time? Are they going out to a job more times than they need to? So they're wasting time with windshield time and gas and all that stuff. How can I improve these efficiencies? Can technology help me stand out amongst competitors? So aside just from basically, trying to enhance my efficiency and cost savings, how can technology make me stand out? Certainly our own anecdote is, people, biggest pain point sometimes is measurement. But then they come back, a month or two later and say, actually, I'm saving money on measurements, but actually the sales tools are actually where the big money is at. So if I can see more customers and close more customers with professional selling tools, that's where the big money is at. That's how you grow a company. So using technology to really engage with customers, give them a wow factor. Try to think of yourself as, Apple Incorporated. Why are they successful? Is because they can stand out and they provide just an incredible experience to their customers. Can technology help me better control my expenses? So, how much, that goes back to, how much time does it take me to create an estimate? What's my cost? Am I paying for measurements and I don't have 100% closing ratio? Where are those expenses going? Because that can sometimes hurt if that adds up. If you're doing a lot of measurements and your guys aren't closing so much, that certainly eats at the bottom line. So can technology and efficiency provide me some different options besides going out there, spending a lot of time measuring or ordering expensive reports? Certainly. Every business is different, so that's something that every company needs to evaluate and say, hey, this is how I like to go to market, and this is how I like my processes. And sometimes there's a hybrid model of how I want to go about things. So can technology help me get more leads in these uncertain times? And also, like I said, storms can impact my region. Absolutely. So technology can help get leads in a lot of different ways. There's SEO, lead generation services, marketing services, Facebook, social media. There are a million ways to kind of jump into this sphere. And I would say, you don't have to go full boat right away, but make sure you have a website. Make sure you're getting Google reviews. Make sure that there's ways for a homeowner to do a little bit of investigation. The yellow pages aren't where people go anymore to find out information. They're going to be looking at your customers' reviews and also the professionalism of your website and social media.
Yeah. Well, one thing we noticed, I was on a call with a contractor the other week, and, you know, they just said, you know, TR, why is it important for me to have a website? Because I'm already doing lead gen on Facebook, and I already have information out on Facebook. So do I really need to invest in a website? And, you know, I thought it was interesting, Chris, because, you know, one of the things, whether, regardless of if you have a Facebook page or not, we used to say there was a data point that said, you know, 4 out of 10 people would technically go to your website and some other social media presence before making their first call to you. And I think now with COVID-19 and social distancing, it's probably more like 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 of folks who are actually going to your website to check you out prior to actually giving you a call or scheduling their first virtual appointment.
Yep. And so this gets back to the seed I planted a little bit earlier. Can technology help you bid more jobs and close more sales? That's the ultimate goal, guys. If we can increase efficiency, see more customers over the course of the day, and close more, that's the efficient way to grow a business. And like I started the webinar with, that everything is so competitive these days. If I'm not utilizing all of these tools, okay, yeah, maybe my business can exist, but it's not going to grow for the next generation, you know. So I would say certainly utilize these tools. It'll help grow your business or give you more family time. You know, it's up to you how you want to get that, use that extra time. You can use it to grow the business, maybe for your kids, or maybe, you know, maybe you want to spend more time with your family. So, you know, let's not focus on the minute tasks that we have to do over the course of the day. Let's see what we can automate, focus on the big picture, and that's what technology is here for. Technology, save time on training my staff, absolutely. So what it can do for you is give a set process for your sales staff to follow. I have talked to so many roofing owners who will admit that I have no idea what my guys are doing out in the field. And personally, that scares the hell out of me. If I have a company that I have poured my blood, sweat, and tears into, and I have no idea how that company is how people are representing my company, how my salespeople are representing me, that would keep me up at night. So this will give them technology can give them a set process to follow. Make sure they train them to follow it every single time, and also it sets a level of expectation in a bar for your salespeople that you just don't go out there and wing it and show them a couple of photos on a cracked phone that have pictures from Cancun debauchery mixed in. It should be set up by the company owner so that it is a clear, consistent branding experience for every customer that they see. And so everything that we're doing can be done virtually. So it's literally one button to share all of this through whatever program you're using, through a webinar service, and I'll go into a little bit more detail on how to do that. But this is all stuff that can be done virtually. Train your salespeople to utilize this. Is there a learning curve? Mostly with the comfort level. Practice internally. There's no reason that you can't have one iPad in one corner of the office, someone else joined by a computer on another corner of the office, run through a mock sale and just kind of get the kinks out. You'll find after trying it once or twice, the barrier that was in your mind wasn't nearly as bad as you thought it was to start off.
I love it, yeah.
And another big thing when we're asking, should we be choosing when choosing a roofing company? Are we a good fit together? Will I be treated like a valued customer or just another number? I would say the best way to do this: call them. Speak to a human being. See what's up. Have a conversation. Just off the cuff. Doesn't have to be a 2-hour-long conversation, but see, hey, do they during this pandemic, of course, I'll give the companies a little bit of I'll give them a little bit of leeway as far as maybe it might take a second for them to pick up the phone or something like that because some people have different staffing and office issues, but do they get back to you right away? Is there easy communication in the form that you like to communicate? So if you text them, do they text you back? Do they call? If you call, will they have a conversation with you? And my opinion is always that people put their best foot forward during an interview, and after the fact, that's where things can sometimes, get a slight reduction. At least I've seen that. That's human nature. But judge it. This is their best foot forward. Any company that you call and you're saying, I'm thinking about joining, are they excited to talk to you, or again, are you just another number? So have that conversation.
If you can't get in touch with them on the first call, then it may be hard to continue a relationship over a long period of time, right? And
Absolutely.
we see that as well, we see that as well with contractors. So, if you don't have your phone rerouted to whoever's doing your front office admin, so that when a homeowner calls, the same principle applies, right? Whether you're choosing your customer or you're choosing or your customer is a customer, your homeowner is a customer, the same principle kind of applies there. Make sure you have a great response, and make sure someone's answering your phones right now, and you have your phones forwarded so that you can answer those customer service calls. Great point.
Absolutely. And again, the biggest thing, if we're a good fit, ask for a demonstration. They'll show you what their secret sauce is. This is what makes us the best. Don't just go in there assuming a magic bullet. Have those conversations. So like I said, communication is the biggest thing, and also making sure that they're open with their communication with you.
Yeah.
And so, there's no magic bullet. There's no one size fits all. So have those conversations because your use case is different from the next roofing company's use case. So you need to know that whatever program you're choosing has that flexibility and customization levels. And again, best foot forward during the interview. Don't expect better results. If you can't get your questions answered before the sale, it's not going to get better after the sale, after they already have your money. So have those conversations. Make sure it's a good fit because, and also technology companies don't want cancellations either. So, make sure that you're upfront with what your needs are, just have a real heart-to-heart. And most roofing software fails to provide a certain set of key features just because that has never been the focus on there. So when we come to digital presentations and closing tools, that's a kind of a new territory for roofing contractors, and that's something that technology has certainly helped us boost. Actually, when iRoofing was first founded in 2012, that was our first thought of, hey, how come when I get a better experience sometimes going to Walmart and asking for help on a television than I do buying a $20,000 roof. And just the disparity between the two was incredible. So I think when we're doing something as important as protecting somebody's home, we should certainly try to give them the best experience, not only to make sure that they go with my company and get the best roof possible, but also let's have this entire industry kind of raise its game as well. Let's build our reputations. Let's kind of have this be a trade that people feel is like, hey, it's progressing, it's becoming modernized, and so certainly get rid of some of those older stereotypes. So, again, we have enhanced growth for our company when we utilize these tools. Like I said before, if not only seeing more customers in efficiency, closing more with these professional selling tools, that's where the big money is at. If we can close an extra couple customers a month, I mean, that means that I can invest more in social media, more leads, new trucks, build my infrastructure for my own company. And so when I'm just raising those successes and closing ratios, nothing more that can help grow a business. And it's less time, actually running the business, doing those daily tasks, but actually focusing on your customers, creating that relationship, and making sure that you give them an experience that they did not get from Joe Schmo Roofing. It takes very little effort to kind of get a leg up in this industry. So I'd say invest in that presentation, invest in your company of all the photos that you guys have done of beautiful houses. Keep track of all that good stuff, because that's stuff that all goes in to the homeowner's comfort level in closing that sale. So that can also help us shorten the training time, because now they have a set process to follow. Instead of having to remake the wheel with every new employee, you say, hey, here's our presentation deck. This is the way it's done in our company. And you just and they're just held to that standard. And if that's how they start, they don't know another way. So sometimes it can be a little bit harder to get the old school guys in line with the new way of thinking. But the sooner you start, the easier it's going to be for your next employee. And when the old guard starts to see the success that the new guys are having, this happens all the time with us, then they go, okay, you know what, maybe I want to try that out.
Right.
And so sometimes it's the proof in the pudding.
For sure.
And so also it's a great teaching mechanism. So iRoofing and technology in this industry, that attracts new salespeople. So you ask a millennial who just graduated from college, how excited would you be to, join a roofing company? Typically, that's not something that they graduate with saying, oh, I want to go be a roofer, but you say, well, you don't have to get up or, getting up on the roof and doing all the measuring or doing stuff by hand in the hot summer sun. No, but you hand them an iPad or some pieces of technology. That's their game. That's how you attract new blood into the industry, new ideas, professional individuals as well. That's something that just attract high caliber of people who want to use technology. And this will also shorten their training time, because maybe they're not coming from roofing, but you have that all in a medium that they appreciate. Can also set the process for your follow-up expectations. Again, get everything set in stone as far as what you expect your salespeople to do. That is the number one low-lying fruit. Money left on the table is follow-up. So make sure you have a good process that's being followed by your salespeople, and check it too. You have the ability to make sure that they're doing what they say they're doing and what you've instructed them to do, and do periodic management checkups, and make sure that, hey, the balls aren't being dropped, because follow-up with roofing is certainly where some people tell me half their sales come from follow-up. And with the use of digital sales and closing tools, we can reduce the cost of pre-qualifying, doing manual measurements. There's ways to get measurements on roofs in 30 seconds. It gives you can get basic information to understand, hey, do I want to go out and it's 5:30 on a Friday? Do I want to drive across traffic to the other side of the city and go see a customer? Well, technology can give me an idea of, within 30 seconds of a ballpark of what this roof is going to cost. Maybe I want to give that over the phone because I'm already feeling like he's kicking tires. So let me just kind of say, oh, it's going to be around this much. But I want to come out and meet you, get to know you, inspect the roof. But if they literally hang up on you right afterwards, well then, you just saved yourself an afternoon of frustration, and you can go be with your family, and just not end the week in that fashion. And so this kind of sums it up through kind of a unified process and a set process where everybody's following it the same way. You're going to have something that's scalable. That's the biggest thing. You can implement this with your management team, and you don't have to be involved in every single new hire. You have this standard already kind of set out in a unified way, and it can be followed. And again, that's the biggest thing, is that it's right there for the next guy. So you can literally keep hiring, keep growing in a storm environment where things are just moving so fast, and you don't have to be involved in the nitty-gritty of every single moment of a new hire's training process.
Yeah, I think that it's a great point, Chris, to make sure you have a process that can help you from the time that you onboard someone all the way through to their sales and digital training presentations. And so, having that process helps save the business owner time, but also the sales team from having to look to a actual person for understanding or training. If there's already a sales training tool kit process, video series, YouTube page. Think about those types of things that you can be implementing now to streamline your processes as you continue to grow, especially in this time of virtual.
Yeah. And Tier, refresh my memory. The timing on this was. Do we have a hard stop time at 11 or 11:30?
Yeah, we have a we'll keep going. We I know we want to definitely get to the demo, so we have a hard stop, you guys, at 11:30. So feel free to keep going, and excited to see what else you got.
Excellent, excellent. Yep, I'll keep rolling through. I just got a message that it might be 11, so I just want to double check. So we got digital. So now again, this should all be ways to generate proposals all the way down the line. So software should be able to go from your measurement to sales to your material order to proposals. So if you have to leave and go back and go through multiple applications and feed information in, there's certainly options out there that can kind of streamline that for you. And the digital proposal can be sent right over by computer so people can review. Also is nice, less paper as people become into an environment, hey, why do we have to waste so much paper? Digital presentations and proposals certainly the way to go. And we can also educate through here as well. So we can easily have all this information of, hey, let's educate our homeowner, make sure that they understand what they're buying, and because everyone knows a well-educated buyer is going to make a better decision. And if I'm the one educating them, I'm probably the one who cares enough to do a good job on their roof, and they're going to feel that as well. And so, like I said before, there's remote measuring software that you can measure, that basically take the tools satellite measurement companies use in that process that used to be done by hand, put that in your people's hands, and you can do their secret sauce yourself and rely and be empowered to do that all in one streamlined process. And so to sum it up, we can go from improving our closing ratios because we can measure, estimate, sell jobs, and provide product ideas to property owners, all in a digital environment. And think, in a digital environment, how many more appointments can I actually do a day? If I don't have to drive to everybody's house, I can just roll through and see way more people, over the course of the day. So I can actually improve my efficiency. So there's a positive takeaway in all of this. So it certainly helps reduces expenses by reducing trips to the job site. Gas on these trucks is not cheap. This is your guys' time and insurance and miles on the truck, all that stuff. We can also avoid third-party roof fees, as I mentioned. You can do an unlimited model. Order reports might always have its place, but that's something that you and your guys can do. 2 to 5 to 10 minutes, depending upon the size of the roof, and be the first one to market. So how cool is it? Even if, let's say, a neighbor comes by and says, "Hey, can you do my house too?" and it's thundering and lightning, you don't have to go and take pictures, leave and come back, or order a measurement report, leave and come back. You can sit in your air-conditioned truck and, as our friend likes to say, get her done right at that moment. Provide an instant estimate right in their living room. And so, extremely important these days. In past years, consumer behavior has certainly changed. We see it now. Millennials are the #1 home buyers. Some roofers certainly, probably begrudgingly, are going to have to start selling to millennials as well. And this is their language. It's a digital language. This makes them feel a lot more comfortable. So you going in there as the roofer who has a digital presentation, digital catalog, is going to make them feel a lot more comfortable than paper catalog, guy with a flip phone. Because that's going to translate to, hey, if they're using technology, they're probably up to date on roofing installations and their whole process. They're probably on the cutting edge. An example of this could be even big ticket items, shopping for cars. There's literally car vending machines out there now that you can buy a car online, go to a vending machine, and without any real human interaction, car will pop right out for you pretty much. So it's incredible that even big ticket items are being purchased in this way. So what is allowing this? Growth in the visual tools, simulating options, seeing what I'm going to get. And it's all about before, technology wasn't there, so people just didn't feel comfortable. You needed that to touch, feel, experience, and now people are feeling very comfortable to sit at home, not have to go into a dealership or spend time, take time off of work to meet with a salesperson. They can do it at their convenience, and it's just preferred in so many ways. Which leads to this section, growing your business in uncertain times. And as we use these technology, we can be scientific with the accuracy of our data. We can start having more analytics. There's even analytics now for your personal health being utilized through these different tools like Fitbit and products to understand that, hey, and social distancing has only accelerated this trend. So positives and negatives, of course, with social distancing. On the other hand, it's challenging us to learn some new ways of doing things and to become more efficient. So there's two ways to look at this. Sure, there's some aspects of this time that are certainly negative, but there's some positives to be taken away as far as, hey, I can see some of this as an opportunity as well to improve my resources, to improve my sales game, and to just add another tool into my tool belt. And so how do we grow our business during this time? We can, again, remote digital sales presentations, employees who are trained and well-equipped to sell their roofs from afar, and seizing these opportunities to get ahead of the game. Don't wait to be the last person on the block. Start investigating and start dabbling in these technology spheres. The barrier to entry isn't that high, isn't that expensive. Start trying to dabble in that. Increasing your closing ratios with that aid of technology, like I said, and having a follow-up plan where we can have all of our leads and follow up correctly with them. So when we talked about software, I always like to say there's no magic bullet out there, but there's a lot of software that can do multiple things for you. So try to get something that will get a couple of birds with one stone. Sometimes you have to supplement. Maybe you have, a 100-person sales force, so you need a CRM system to manage them. But hey, another product can hit all my other check marks. And also utilizing streaming services. Everything that I'm doing here today can be done through software programs. Utilize things like GoToMeeting, Zoom. We're literally training contractors on a day-to-day basis how to do these presentations through Zoom, which is a free service. If it's just you and another person on there, you can stay on there as long as you want. If there's multiple people joining from different locations, there's a 40-minute time limit. But most of the time, roofing sales is just between you and the homeowner. So it's a great way to freely connect to people and share your screen like I'm doing now and sell them a roof. And so at this time, let's also plant some seeds. Let's line up some sales and get things in the pipeline. Some people are still allowed to do roofing jobs. Some of them we want to get lined up so that as soon as this starting gun starts, we'll be able to start putting on these roofs and make an efficient season out of it. So I would say a big thing is making sure that we have these tools that when the shotgun start does happen, we can capture our opportunity. And so a little bit about iRoofing. We are one of the only complete solutions, and I like to call it an ecosystem, where you can, from the point that you get a call all the way from the sales process, closing, measuring, and estimating, you can be done in 10 minutes. So we can easily qualify a lead and make sure that, hey, yep, they're the home that I want to do, certainly the type of material that I want to use, get my instant estimate right there on the spot with no waiting whatsoever, be the first one to be able to capture that. And being able to do that with your pricing built in and already set up, you can go literally get a phone call and be on a webinar with someone within 10 minutes with a full presentation deck without even going out to the job site. We have our digital pitch book during the sale to go through. And we can go through catalogs, so we can show beautiful new Atlas products with the roof on there as well, and show them all the different colors in high resolution. These, especially the iPad, have beautiful displays on there. So it actually depicts the products very, very accurately, and you can show them what it looks like on their own home, taking out all the guesswork with a tool such as the visualizer. We can map jobs that we've done in the area. I'll show you guys in the app as well. So having location-based CRM systems is very important. Having a digital contract built into the app, like in iRoofing, where you can sign on the screen. And dynamic estimating feature. So if it takes you, a long time to build a professional estimate, there's ways to cut that process down to a click of a button. And I'll show you guys that too. In our CRM system, to be able to manage your clients, see what you've done, so that if you get a phone call, you remember who they are. And there's a quick blurb of our location-based CRM system. And you could send orders right to your favorite distribution house, all within one app. So you can go right from measuring, estimating, and ordering right through the application to your favorite supplier. And best off is that there's no heavy lifting whatsoever in iRoofing. You don't have to be a technology whiz. We will train you and your team to be proficient in the application, and we'll make you experts. Like I said, we got a guy who's 76 years old utilizing the application. Took a couple extra training sessions, but they're free and unlimited. So I welcome guys, hey, let's go through it, make sure that you guys get the most out of the tool.
There you go.
We also have, if you go to our website, we have a guide on how to do remote roofing sales, and we'll also train one-on-one on that as well. And now, without further ado, I got a video of actually utilizing the iRoofing app. And we're just doing a video this time because with over 100 people, want to make sure it runs smoothly. We also do live demonstrations. Actually, all of our demonstrations are typically live. This is the first time we're actually doing a video. That just allows me to stop and discuss things a little bit easier when I go in this format. And let me make that full screen. Cool. All right. And so I'm going to start off with the estimation page. So this is kind of the end result of what you get with iRoofing. So this compiles automatically for you. Like I said, 10 minutes, this is what we can get. And so it's going to have all your logos on there. So again, you want something that's going to be consistent branding. You want to be memorable. You want it to be professional. So it puts all the information in there automatically from your customer, any notes that you want to be presented on there as well, things that can be checkmarked at the end. You can write on any of these pictures as well. So that's a big thing, and to keep everybody on the same page. Also in these proposals to the homeowner, because this is what the proposal that they'll see, it's nice to write on them because this will create urgency. If there's leaks and damage, put that on your estimate. Make sure they know about it. And if you want the property roof report to be included, you can. Up to you. So again, ask whatever you want as far as customization. Make sure that your technology company allows you the control and flexibility to only include what you want to include in there. If you're in a market where people shop around, maybe you don't want to include that. And so you want to make sure that you have the flexibility that you can actually take anything out that you don't want in there on a case-by-case basis. Also, like I said, picture's worth 1,000 words, right on the proposal. Beautiful new Atlas products on there. And we can easily see what it's going to look like in the final result. And it's a nice wow factor that this is put in there for you, something that homeowners probably, if they compare it to other estimates, aren't going to see the same things. It's just going to be text-based. And especially as we come to the product guide on here, what I really love about our estimation feature is that this is basically the only system I've ever seen that actually shows you every single product onto the roof. So that's a nice way to really kind of show, hey, here's the value and what's going in to protect your home. It's not just shingles being nailed to a roof. Look at all these products on there, and that makes the value much more tangible to the homeowner. It makes you stand out because they don't know what these products are, but the pictures help depict it, help explain it, and certainly makes your estimate stand out from every other contractor's that's out there. And then you can see you got the total price, any of your terms and conditions, and the customer can sign right down there at the bottom of it there. You can send it to them, email, all right from here. And this is the main page of iRoofing. We can measure the roof, get a full detailed takeoff. We got catalogs from all the major manufacturers automatically kept up to date. We can take any of those materials, put them on the customer's own home with the roof simulator. We can sign a contract on here. It's your own contract or any document, really. You have your presentations and pitch books built into the About Us, and our customer database, which will keep everything organized for you. So now I'm going to show you how I got to that estimate very quickly. First off is we start off with a roof measurement. So let's go ahead, type in that address that I was working with before. And you can see, here's my estimation page. I'm not starting with any extra help, except for I do have a picture of the house from Google Street View, just to save a little bit of time on the presentation. So I'm starting from scratch on this customer, and we'll see how fast we can get to the end result. And nothing in this is sped up at all. This is all, as if I was presenting in real time. And you can see right now that house. Something that pops up to a lot of guys is we type in an address, and oh darn, there's trees in the way. What do we do? Well, iRoofing has proprietary clear roof technology where you can actually not only select a different image, you can select it by date. So take a look down there. I'm choosing a different date. Let's do something in the winter time where maybe that tree doesn't have so many leaves on it. And magically, boom, there it is. So now I can actually see the roof to measure from. And so we just want to provide flexibility for our contractors. Nothing will ever be 1,000% because every now and then there's a house in a jungle canopy. But with iRoofing clear roof technology, we're giving you more and more flexibility so that you can measure. We're trying to get as close to 99% of everything out there as possible. You can also order reports through iRoofing at a rate of $30 for any size home. So our contractors will actually cherry pick the crazy monstrosities and just, oh, you know what, I'm really busy today. Let me have this one professionally measured for you. And that's a flat rate of $30, something that the competitors might charge, $110 for. If it's a single family home, still that's straight $30. And what I'm doing here.
So,
go ahead.
Chris, I was just going to say we had a couple questions about actually masking the roof. So I think you're going to go into that now.
Yep. And so all I'm doing is hitting the corners of the roof. Not rocket science. It's almost like an adult version of connect the dots. So really no, and I'm pausing it right now just so I can talk. So because I can go faster in the app than I can actually talk sometimes. So this allows me to basically set the corners of the roof. You could also do a perimeter. If you need a 30-second answer of how many squares a roof is, you could do the perimeter in 30 seconds, but this will give me the most information. And bottom line, this is free and unlimited in the app, so I could literally do 1,000 measurements a day. Never going to charge you guys an extra penny, so certainly the most cost-effective way of doing this. And it's also a really flexible tool. You can do this at any point in time. You can do this right when you pull up to a job, or you can do this the night before. Our most successful contractors will say, hey, I got to go see these 4 or 5 jobs tomorrow, do this the night before, and then spend all their time with the homeowner creating that relationship needed to close the sale instead of scrambling up on top of the roof. And also everything that I'm doing here is you could do this in front of the customer. You want to wow them because you got really good at iRoofing and fast. You could literally do this in front of them, and some customers will think that's really cool, especially their technology guys. They're watching this kind of, I would blow my mind if I was a homeowner. And now you can see all I did there was put in, I tapped on the different parts so that I labeled them. And now the app will actually tell me the pitch of the roof as well. And I just got to hit a few points on the roof. You'll see I'll kind of just hit some different corners. And that will actually calculate the angle there. And you can see, calculates my angle there, 17 degrees, 5 on 12. And now I can generate up the report. So no guesswork whatsoever. Again, my logos are on these reports. I got my total squares, got my different waste factors. I got a color-coded diagram of the roof with all my linear values added up on the left-hand side. I got my square footage of each individual slope of the roof as well. So different materials being put in different areas, no problemo. And then a pitch guide on there too. And of course, I can print it, email it, put it in Dropbox, Google Drive. Nothing's locked onto the iPad. You can do anything that you want. And we also have a lot of customers who are saying that, hey, homeowners are starting to request these reports. you can customize so that they can't shop around on you. You can remove information that maybe you don't want them to have. So you can still say, yeah, I'll send it to you, but you can take off whatever information you don't want them to see. So again, customization to the nth degree is the name of the game these days. And again, this is free and unlimited. And we also have a really cool tool which will allow us to basically dial in our accuracy beyond what any satellite measurement company can possibly do remotely. So if you're on site and you just want to double check to make sure that you're perfect, you can measure one eave line, plug it in, and you'll see not only will it change that one eave line, it will actually recalibrate the entire report. And I'm just putting in 38 feet 7 inches as an example. And it recalibrates the report and dial into your accuracy beyond what satellite measurement companies can do remotely from their office. Also, I want to mention that iRoofing is the answer for all measurements. You can do measurements from a drone. You can do measurements from new construction plan sheets, blueprints. We actually have a number of companies who only use that feature. They only do new construction. They're using 1/10 of the app, but compared to a CAD program, they are so happy to be using iRoofing just because it's a lot more of a joy to measure than a CAD program. We also have your digital presentation built into the app as well. So we have all of our company information, all of our pictures on there as well. So we can easily go through a slideshow presentation built right into the app. Nice part about this is that you don't have to go to different apps or different programs or websites. You can literally be presenting in the way that I am right now to the homeowner and never have to leave the ecosystem of iRoofing. It's all there at your fingertips. And now I'm going back into my customer. Let's go ahead and find Jason Alexander. There he is. Now I have the measurement in his profile. Now let's go ahead, let's take a look at some products. So now I'm just going to kind of go through my digital catalog, and this is something that I want to prepare beforehand. I want to go ahead and hide all these companies that I don't like to use, leaving some only really quality shingle products on there from Atlas. So again, it's going to customize to what you guys like to use, and you have all the profiles kept up to date with the Scotchgard logos on there. Customers love that. And I can go through all the different colors, get a large high-resolution view of the material. Again, the iPad Retina displays display this very color accurately. I can save this to the customer, so if they ever call me up, I remember exactly what color that they were looking at. And I can customize which colors are shown. If, for instance, down here in Florida, that you can see, I'm working in a neighborhood that has tons of trees. I don't want pristine pearl on my list there. I can take that off. So again, it's almost like I'm getting Atlas to print up a catalog just for me and what I like to use on a daily basis. Again, here's my property photo that I wrote on there. So you can write on the pictures to keep everyone on the same page. You can store as many photos as you'd like on there. And that takes me to my simulator. This has always been my favorite part of the app, just because this is where we studied, homeowners' buying behaviors, making sure everyone is, getting that experience. And everyone's so visual these days. If you ask them to use any sort of imagination, just puts up a lot of hesitation and blockades to the sale. In 2 seconds, you can hit the corners of the house, put a new roof on there so that you're taking away all of that guesswork, providing them an experience that they can't get anywhere else, and a nice wow factor that'll help close the sale. And like I mentioned before, in the homeowner's eyes, this shows that you really care. This is, in the homeowner's world, this is scary, this is expensive. Why am I spending so much money on a roof? I thought, shingles wouldn't be that expensive. And now this is making sure that, hey, yep, it's a big, big job, big undertaking, but you're going to love the way your new home looks. It's going to match your brick exterior. It's going to match your siding, your pavers. And you can even show what 2 different colors look like side by side. Maybe they're having trouble picking a color. This is a service that you can provide, either sitting at the kitchen table or even in the remote environment of comparing it, making sure that everyone's on the same page. They're going to love their new roof. And this helps close sales, because imagine you're giving them this experience and everyone else is just kind of saying, use your imagination. Look at, the little color swatch. and you use your imagination to put that up onto the roof. So like I said, very easy to get ahead of other roofing contractors out there in the world. Yeah. So you can see now I have my simulator photo for Jason. Now let's build an estimate. And there's a couple of different ways to build an estimate in iRoofing. And again, that comes down to the flexibility aspect that I was talking about before. You can measure from, or you can estimate from a number of different ways. Price per square would be one way, or all the way through, I want to attach a dollar value to every single product that's going onto the roof, add my margins, add my overhead, and I want tons of flexibility because maybe I want to come in at a 33% margin because I know that will help capture me more market share than the biggest competitor in my territory who does a 40% margin, and that's what I think is going to help me grow. And you can get that scientific level with iRoofing if you want to. However you go, you want to basically start building templates. So a lot of roofers will use this, a similar Atlas system repetitively, just because, hey, it's what my guys like to install. It's a good system, and so you could load that in there. So you only load it once, and then anytime you want to install that system or price out that system with a new customer, you just tap on it, and it applies those products. And it does that by basically extrapolating the data from my property roof report. So you can see all my squares, hips, valleys, rakes, and eaves, all translated out. You, as the roofer, are in control. So if you want to make adjustments, you certainly can. Or put some extra, maybe you need some extra flashing or something like that. You can easily do that. And you can see right on here, it calculates all the materials that I need. So you can easily translate this into a material order from my proposal, send that off to distribution. So for instance, it's taking my square footage, adding my 12% waste factor that I chose. Of course, you as the roofer gets to designate that. I need 28 squares, and so I need 0.33 squares a bundle, and it does all my calculations for me. And you can see it does that for all my products, my drip edge, my ice and water, my starter, my hip and ridge. And so, like I said, you do this once, calculate it out. It's also very easy to switch this out, too. So let's say if we wanted to go through and, I want to actually swap out my underlayment, easy to do in this section. And you'll also notice that we have a good, better, best selling environment, so that if you want to have multiple presentations and proposals all generated at once, you can do that as well. And maybe you're in a nice neighborhood, so you only want to do the good and better. You can certainly customize that in there too. And so we can also add in any extra notes, checkable at the end. I got my photos, simulator photos of what's going to look like when the job is done, my profit and tax all on there. I can change my payment structure. Let me actually pause it, go back to that. So again, you can tweak your profits however you want. There's also customizable fields you can add in here. So even if you have like a weird tax, you can certainly do that in iRoofing and get that accounted for. And however you want to receive your payments, maybe you receive 3 payments, maybe you want 10% down or 1,000 down, however you guys want to set that up, and you can preset that. And again, it's also important to have a set process for your salespeople to follow. So this is something that can all be decked out for them, pre-selected. So all they have to worry about is the experience that they're giving the homeowner. And now I can go right to generating up my report. I can say, hey, I want my good, better, and best estimate on here. Let's click to generate. And pretty much I started from scratch from this customer, paused the video a bunch of times so I could listen to myself talk a little bit, and I'm already generating up my report. Oops, I pressed the space bar to pause it. And so now I got, again, all that information that was on the roof there, writing on the actual pictures, everything being implemented from my customer database, being populated automatically on my report. So we've taken the entire process that used to take roofers a long time and drill it into measuring, estimating, proposal, sale in under 10 minutes if you want to. And again, I love all my products being spelled out there nice and neat, no question of what's going to go on there. Put yourself in the homeowner's shoes. If I just saw lines of text of install starter and ice and water, I don't know what those things are, but now I can kind of explain them and educate the homeowner.
That's awesome.
And of course, I got my total. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we do have a couple of questions about, as you were going through the demo, which was awesome. Some of them you already answered, but I'll just pop in a couple of other ones.
Great.
One question was about a flat roof measurement. Chris, you talked earlier about commercial properties, but can you tell us a little bit about how iRoofing addresses flat roofing and measurements?
Absolutely. So we have a brand new feature that will allow you to account for parapet walls. So you can do your measurements just as you normally would in iRoofing. Sometimes it's even easier because a lot of times they're large rectangles, and you can certainly cut out things like AC vents and stuff like that. And then also in iRoofing, you can tell it the height of the parapet walls and where they exist, and you can generate your estimate, or you can generate your measurement with those accounted for. So that's important that you have something that can also help you out with the commercial side of the business as well.
Yeah. Also, in terms of using the measurements and transitioning that to a blueprint, is that possible with the tool?
Absolutely. Blueprints are one of my favorite things in the application. Something that used to take forever and be extremely technical with a CAD program has now become so simple with iRoofing. Like I said, we have multiple companies who that's all they do is new construction plan sheets, because that's their business, is just doing new construction. They use 10% of iRoofing, and they are just happy as all get out, because it used to be, let's say they lost their CAD guy, they would be so bogged down for a long time before they got someone new to learn CAD, because it takes time, effort. I've seen smart people give up on CAD, quite honestly, because it is just out there as far as how technical. Yep.
Yeah. And then, in terms of users, I know that at the end, we're going to offer an Atlas promotion through our AtlasPro portal. So if you all are listening and interested in signing up, hold tight, because we got some really cool things to tell you about the promotion that iRoofing is offering to AtlasPro contractors. But in terms of users, how many users, and can you talk a little bit about the structure of iRoofing's program and users within multiple companies, or the same user in one company, so forth?
Yep. So with iRoofing, any subscription plan that we have comes with 3 users initially on the account. We find that's just kind of the easiest way to kind of do things, because sometimes people need to change, something like that. So it just gives flexibility right off the bat. And each additional user beyond the first 3 would be $35 a month. It doesn't matter what plan you're on. We're not going to hold you hostage. So if you're on a yearly plan and, hey, during the winter time or during the summertime, you got a lot more salespeople than you do in the winter time, but you want to save money with our yearly plan, you can take that number of users up and down as much as you want. We're not going to try to, make you hold on to those users even though you're not utilizing the program. So it really is, a pay for what you use on the user side.
Flexibility, I love it.
Yep.
Okay, great. Awesome. That's all the questions for now. If you guys have some more questions about the program, feel free to put it in. Actually, as soon as I said that, Chris, Ron asked another question about drones. And how does the tool incorporate drones, or can you take a drone footage and add that in terms of the estimate? Do you guys have video opportunities at the end, or how does that work?
So excellent question. We love drones at iRoofing, and they work great with our program. So you would fly the drone high up overhead of the house, take a straight down shot, and then you can measure from that image. And the process is 99% the same as measuring a normal house, measuring new construction plan sheet, or measuring from a drone. So there's no new process to learn. The only difference with a new construction plan sheet and a drone is that you do have to tell it the scale. So just like I rescaled that image there to dial in my accuracy to a perfect percent, I would do that with my new construction plan sheet.
Right.
or my drone.
Gotcha. And then at the end, when you build out the estimate with all the details and all the products listed, are you sending that to the homeowner through the app, or is that downloading as a PDF?
So either way. So if you want to get that as a PDF file, great. If you want to use it internally, completely up to the roofer. I mean, you can use for a new construction plan sheet. I mean, you could technically take a picture of one, or the PDF file itself, or even screenshot, JPEG. Any standard file format should work fine.
Okay. And if they have a contract already, terms and conditions, language, things of that sort, you all actually help them to set up the account. So if they have a personal contract that they're already using with the homeowner, you all's customer service in our industry is second to none, which I love. So you'll help your team will help to onboard our contractors, make sure all of their tools and resources, literature, language, and all of that is updated in the app.
Absolutely. The biggest thing that we have found over the 8 years of doing this is that a lot of people like to have a helping hand, or even if you're really tech savvy, let's make sure you're utilizing it in the best way possible, in the most efficient way possible, and everything's perfect for you. So our biggest and most robust department is actually our account manager and training department, to make sure that everyone in your company is getting 100% out of it. We reach out to them, we call them, and training and support is free, unlimited, live, one-on-one. So it's not in a group setting. We focus on exactly what that company, how they like to do it, their particular use case, so that there's no wasted time.
Great. Lots of questions about that, and as well as the package and the promotion that we're offering to AtlasPro contractors. But I think you have a couple more slides before we get to that, right?
Yep, literally 1 minute, and I'll be able to get to that. So this is our location-based CRM system. What's cool about this is that not only is it a great organizational tool, it's also a great sales tool. So yeah, I could sort by lead, estimates, sold, in progress. But it's also, if someone ever asks, hey, have you guys had any jobs in the area? Hey, look at all these jobs that I've done right around you. Each one of these is a job that I've completed. And then you can actually kind of zoom in to any of the pins there, kind of see which one's closest to you, and actually go, hey, maybe you've driven by this house. It's in your neighborhood there. You may have remembered we actually did that house a year or two ago. You can click on it or search right from the name as well, and it'll bring you to that account that was closest to them, and you can show them, hey, look at the before and after pictures of this job. Look how messed up their roof was. We came in there and did tear off, and look how beautiful everything turned out, and we're going to take care of your home the same way we took care of your neighbors. And that's almost like getting a soft neighbor referral right on the spot, and we all know that certainly helps closing ratios when they kind of, one of my neighbors used it. Or let's say Chris Hewson was a tough cookie, and after meeting him a year ago, he didn't pick up my calls, but all of a sudden he calls me out of the blue and say, oh yeah, Chris, I remember, you had that house, could have that same picture pulled up. You had that white house with the big vent over the garage. I remember you. Big job, 81 squares, but yeah, we can get that done before the rainy season. And you have all of their chosen products, property photos, their last visits. So you can be like, oh yeah, we met back in June, right? And so you can pick up that conversation right where you left off. You can also edit anything in iRoofing as well. So if, let's say, you want to come back and work on something again, maybe they said on the second estimate, they said, hey, let's actually do that detached garage. You can certainly do that in the iRoofing application. Start right from where you left off, and you don't have to remake the wheel each time.
Yeah. Alicia Scott asked a really great question about uploading contacts. You just talked about the CRM tool. Is there a way to, when they're onboarding, to actually, or do you all already integrate with like a Job Nimbus, a current CRM tool, so that they could get their contacts into the iRoofing app?
So getting contacts into iRoofing is very easy. So as I mentioned before, we work Google Drive, Dropbox, all these open source type formats. So there's no proprietary type stuff on there. It's easily transferable. So you can literally put your cut and paste your customers into an Excel spreadsheet and populate that all right into iRoofing in almost an instant. So we help people do that all the time in the application. So you could start off day one with 1,000 pins of everybody, of all your customers. So it's really impressive.
Great. And then a final question from Vincent Cummings. Is there a way to interface all of the info on our desktop computer? So a little bit similar to the last one, Chris, about putting the information into the app. You know, if they have it on the desktop, same thing, they would just, you guys will actually help walk them through how to do that.
Yep, absolutely. And so that is something that is coming in the, not only can you do that now, currently cut and paste everybody into there very easily, because we give you basically a template to do so. But we're also going to be, we just released a new phone version for Android. Also, we'll be see the iPhone version very, very soon. That's coming out
awesome.
Imminently. So we'll see that in, hopefully in the start of next month. We're also going to be releasing the iRoof Cloud, which will allow. Right now, you can still connect all your data between each point, and it's going to be. But we've reached a critical mass now where we're launching our own cloud, and we're going to see seamless integration to manage our team more efficiently. And then you'll see, you know, basically that will be, you know, management dashboards and stuff like that.
Awesome, love it. And so for all of our contractors who are on here, you've been asking about, you know, what the tool usage is and how to leverage it. You can actually, or Chris, I can let you talk about the offer that you guys are giving to our AtlasPro contractors for signing up.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we got, let me just get my screen to move. There we go. So our normal iRoofing deal is you know, month to month, $129, or a year, $1368, or devices. We do have our promotion through AtlasPro, which is actually buy 3 months, get one for free. So a total of 4 months for the price of 3. That actually is going to be your highest, the highest percentage of discount on there up until I think you hit the 2-year mark. So that's a great, great value. Good way to start off with the app, you know, and that way that'll give you time to really put it through its paces, train your guys, make sure that that everyone is basically able to, you know, get the most out of the application over the summertime, which is, of course, going to be our busiest season. And I would say now's the perfect time to really learn these types of new technologies while people are at home. They can sit down in a quiet space. You know, it's a little bit harder to do this when you are, you know, running around like crazy. So it's certainly a great time to learn some new skills. I'm actually going to put the link in the chat as well.
Yep, and you can access it through the chat directly to get signed up. And we also are making this page as well as other learning resources available within our Pro portal. So we'll add that link into the chat as well. Just log into your Pro portal at atlasroofing.com/pro. Then you'll want to click on that iRoofing button under Estimates and Measurement Tools. And you can get signed up today for the buy 3 months and get the 4th one free, which is, I'm told, one of the best partnership deals out there for iRoofing right now. So I'm excited about that, Chris, and thank you guys so much for sharing this information. We are right at 11:31, so I'm going to let you guys go. But hey, guys, if you do have any questions, feel free to send us a note, send Chris a note. You see all of the contact information on there. Log into your AtlasPro account, jump on the iRoofing page. You can send them a note through there or subscribe today. Until then, guys, don't forget to live, roof, play. Talk soon. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Kiara. Thanks, Atlas. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much for today.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for everyone's time. Bye-bye.